Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 39 of FTB Interactions. When I logged in today, I was getting the swirly nausea effect that typically happens when you have no life essence in your LP network and you're trying to do something with it. And I thought to myself, that's weird. I thought I turned all my rituals off. And I checked, right? Yep, this ritual is off. Basically, they're disabled if they have a redstone signal. That one's off. That one's off. And then I realized I have my ritual here, the one that's actually killing mobs and generating LP for me. And well, without LP that doesn't run, which causes me to not have LP. So I made it so that I don't extract blood from my blood altar unless I flip this switch, which allows me to fill my LP network with blood. However, now I can't actually put any blood into the tanks for crafting. So I suspect all the crafting, all the crafting we kicked off last episode is not yet done. It's only been like 4 hours real time since then, so but apparently it takes more than 4 hours to craft 100 ingots, and I suspect it's because there is not enough blood to run you. Indeed. So I guess my hacky fix to not having enough blood last episode wasn't enough. The proper solution then is to probably put more runes of sacrifice on this altar. That'll just dramatically increase our blood output. However, in order to do that, I'm going to need a bigger blood altar. So right now we have a tier 4 blood altar, right up to this 4th level, I guess 3rd level. But every rune in here is used up with something. Now technically I could replace the efficiency runes with sacrifice runes, and that's probably worth it. However, if I just upgrade my altar, I can get, all these pink blocks can be turned into real runes. So to upgrade, we need altar caps, and tier 5 altar cap is a Pharos beacon, and tier 6 is a regular crystal cluster. We've already probably seen these recipes, but the crystal cluster is actually easier to make, in my opinion, than the Pharos beacon. This takes a block of terra steel. But there's nothing here we can't make. You just have to take a couple minutes to actually do it. So I'm going to go make, 4 beacons and 4 crystal clusters. And let's see about upgrading our altar to tier 6. That should give us another 90-ish runes maybe. And we'll put as many sacrifice runes as we can jam in that. We have the ability to make UV machines if needed. And here I am still using a steam compressor to make blocks. Some things never change. I just like the steam stuff because I can just time and a bottle it basically as much as I like. Alright, so anyways, with these terra steel blocks, we should be able to make these 4 beacons. And let's make 4 crystal clusters. I didn't actually put storage buses on every single one of these drawers, I think. So let's just nab a stack each and make these now. 4 crystal clusters. Alright, quest complete. I wonder, what do those give? Alright, and this quest is apparently still blocked, so we did this one instead. Reaper 5, ooh, that's not a half bad book. Anyways, the beacons go here to cap the tier 5 altar, and then the tier 6 ones go there. Of course, the altar doesn't actually upgrade until you put new runes in as well to replace the filler. So for now, these will be all sacrifice runes. Maybe at some point I'll swap some of that out for speed runes for crafting reasons, but for now I just need all the blood to be used outside of the altar, so I need to generate as much blood as possible. This recipe requires imbued slates, which are tier 3, I believe. And we have 1, so I guess it's time to craft more slates. Can I make 100 more slates? It looks like it. Fire. To make more LP, I've been time and bottling my mob agonizer, but it's occurred to me, maybe there's something better to hit with the time in a bottle. What if I go after the spawner? In fact, with it time in a bottled, it's it's just spewing out mobs like no tomorrow. So that produces a lot more LP than time and bottling the digital mob agonizer. Now, there's nothing wrong with time and bottling the digital mob agonizer. It's just better to do it on the on the spawner. Anyways, 43 imbued slates. So let's make however many sacrifice runes I can from that. Since I'm going to be using my altar a bit more, I made some runes of fire to make spark augments so that I can feed it from 3 mana pools at once. Alright, now, that's pulling mana from everywhere. These mana pools actually, they're no longer the ones being used to fuel my Elven trade, but I no longer have mana going into them because I no longer have a Dandelion here. Well, the Dandelion here isn't doing anything, so I guess I do need to make sure not to completely empty those out, or if I do empty them, I need to refill them. Whatever. For now, let's just request those sacrifice runes. So give me 60. Sure. And they should all end up in here. And then doing 30 crafts is enough to almost make me want to automate it, but I think I can just whoopsies, that's the wrong item. I've already put one of those on there. What's the last item here? Blank root? There we go. Just craft that, throw all of those there, and then it'll automatically finish the craft, and I just have to right click it like every couple seconds. This isn't all too bad, and I have a item collector automatically picking up the finished product. Yeah, this isn't that bad. Unfortunately, I can't have a mechanical user right click it to do the replace recipe thing. It doesn't work with users. Only 2 more cycles left to go, and in total this only took like a minute. So it wasn't that much clicking, but there we go. There's the last one. So I'll take my leftovers here, and we should have 60 runes of sacrifice. Let's put these in. I'll start with the this row here. I think 60 should complete it, but this should be a significant increase in our blood production. And it looks like our orb is full, which is nice. I guess I'll leave that there. I'll just turn the lever on, which starts draining our blood altar for crafting use. With 60 sacrifice runes, our blood generated from this is 540 millibuckets per operation. So it's a 6x modifier from runes, 3x from having corrupted glitch hearts, for a total of 9. But we still, the runes also affect the blood generated from mob sacrifice. And you saw there, basically whenever a set of mobs up there spawns, the blood altar gets, it might even 100% fill up upon killing the mobs. Unfortunately, our spawner doesn't spawn mobs very consistently. It spawns a lot of mobs and then it sits on cooldown for a few seconds. Like 10-ish seconds, but there just isn't a much better mob spawner available in this pack. Oh well. We still have one more ring of runes to do, so initially I was just going to do more sacrifice, but it looks like we might want some capacity runes here as well. So because, you know, if we generate more than 10 buckets of blood at a time, then this altar can't hold it all. The excess just gets voided. So let's do a mix of sacrifice and capacity runes. To make time in a bottling the spawner easier, I cut a hole in the bottom there so I could hit my spawner from down here. The lengths I go to make my time in a bottle good. I made 32 runes of augmented capacity. Each one of these increases the altar's LP cap by 10%, stacking multiplicatively. So below a threshold, somewhere around 20-ish, you're better off using regular runes of capacity. Above that threshold, you're better off using the augmented ones. I don't know where exactly the breakpoint is, but it's somewhere around 20. Anyways, I just have to fill in the rest of this now with more sacrifice runes. That looks like 40-ish, right? I'm going to estimate 40. Turns out it was 36. Just a hair short of 40. So that was a pretty good estimate. So now that our altar is tier 6, let's check just to be sure. Tier 6, yeah. It has a capacity of, what is that, 211-ish buckets? And we have 104 sacrifice runes. Awesome. We may as well make a better blood orb too, right? Let's just make the tier 6 blood orb. So that's 200k LP with a crystal cluster. Alright. I want to see how fast the altar fills when I use a time in a bottle. So when I don't time in a bottle, my spawner goes, you know, those like 800 millibucket jumps are when this thing does a cycle. And when mobs get sacrificed, it should jump up by about 10 buckets. So there it goes. Yeah, about 10 buckets at a time. So if I just time in a bottle that, the altar. Ooh, now it's filling up real fast. All right, full enough. Let's make our crystal cluster now. The time in a bottle really makes blood magic so much more pleasant. All this waiting? Nope, not happening. All right, so now our life network is, it holds up to 30 million LP. Before it held, what was it, like 150,000? It's a small improvement, right? Anyways, I want to make a second one, so I have one for crafting and one for leaving in the altar. Vroom vroom. With this much blood production, we might even need extraction speed upgrades to pull blood out fast enough. Oh, and look, our buffer drum's full. So I guess that means all the crafting we have already has access to all the blood it wants. That means we're making enough life essence now, haha! Alright, I suspect that also means that our crafting is done, so let's start up a new batch of draconium. Can I order 400? No. On account of not having enough flawless coal. Vanadium, I just only stock 500 at a time, so I should bump that threshold up, but I guess, I don't know, 190? Can I do that? Nope. 150 it is. I've got 30k vanadium dust, so I just have to find out which of these blast furnaces, like this one, making vanadium, and I'll just set that threshold to 10,000. So make more vanadium. Thank you. Now that we're producing a reasonable amount of draconium, are you running reactor? Ah, you are. There's a couple ingots of red matter in there processing. We have to upgrade the draconium into awakened draconium. So to do so requires the fusion crafter and charged draconium. Here, let's pin some of these. So I think everything here I can unpin. Let's start by clearing that out. We need charged draconium, dragon hearts, neutronium, crystal matrices, and dragonstone. This one's easy. This is just, you throw mana diamonds at the elves, you get dragonstone out. Crystal matrices are not too bad. It requires nether stars, but otherwise it's the blast furnace recipe. Neutronium, we'll come back to Avarician neutronium. Dragon hearts don't have a recipe, so I assume that just means you have to kill dragons. And the charged draconium block is you charge draconium with a sky cauldron with 2 megajoules of energy. I don't think that's a lot, and a fair bit of starlight and some flux. So let's start by making this flux. I made a little bit of antimatter before, but now we have to actually use it. Yeah, nothing here looks difficult. So let me show you my antimatter puddle. It's a little ways out of our base because it has a little bit of a tendency to spread. But remember, I put down some life essence here and struck it with lightning, and it became this liquid antimatter stuff. It's safe to swim in, surprisingly, and it has eaten its way all the way down, all the way through the world, past the bedrock. It apparently eats bedrock, and it's just a solid block of it now. So let's mine it. Antimatter has this annoying property where it turns blocks it touches into this antimatter block. So you can't actually just put a pump against it and mine the liquid. Well, that would be great. So let's come up with a better way. I'm thinking we can try using a RF Tools builder to pump it. If I put a builder, give it some power, and I have to define the area it builds in. I think if I pump an area that is 20 by 20 by 70 tall and center that on the builder, let's preview mode just to see. Yeah, it's good enough. It seems to cover just about all of it. So turn the pump on and where's my antimatter? Hello, builder. Oh, there we go. There's my antimatter. And we have 91 buckets of it. I did kind of expect more. I guess not all of this down here is source blocks. that's probably why I didn't get more. But I think what I can do is, well, let's give it a second for it to finish completely. A time in a bottle it? Does it run faster? Not appreciably so. 91 buckets is, a fair bit of antimatter, but I'm going to wait for it to finish mining, this part over here. Oh, there it goes. And I guess only the top layer, or the top couple layers, had liquid antimatter. But if I mine this... Oh, I thought that would also turn into liquid antimatter. Wait, I thought a property of liquid antimatter was that it turned... Oh, backspike. I thought that liquid antimatter turned all blocks it touched into more liquid antimatter, but I only got 127 blocks out of it. Huh. Turns out antimatter is only created when flowing or source block life essence is struck by lightning. So I made a sigil of the storm to call lightning. This will arbitrarily allow me to hit stuff with lightning. And my plan is I will fill this entire cylinder up with flowing life essence. So I put a piece of source life essence here, let it spread out, and then I turn the shield generator off to make the floor fall out from under it, and that will sink all the way down to bedrock and turn into pieces of flowing life essence. And then I hit that with my lightning once it's done. And that should fill basically this entire, triangle. I guess it's a rectangular prism, approximately. It'll turn all of it into source blocks of liquid antimatter that I can pick up. So this much flowing fluid is definitely a little bit laggy. So once I make it, I want to pick it up. All right, I think it's all the way down to the bottom is liquid life essence. If I strike it, hello? I guess you have to strike land. All right, hold on. Let's get a little piece of dirt here to hit, or cobble here to hit. Can I strike that? Yes, but that doesn't count. Alright, one more try. Why are you not turning into... Hello? Huh. Maybe this will work? Why are you not transforming? It transformed this time when I hit the source block with lightning. So maybe you have to hit exactly the source block with lightning. Anyways, let's suck up this antimatter I made, and then I'll try making another batch. Alright, new plan. I'm going to put the source block, maybe not there because I can't actually hit that block with lightning. But I'm going to put the source block right above that piece of cobblestone. Let it spread. And then let it fall. And then now that there's a piece of cobble I can target directly under the source, maybe this will work. If all goes well, we're about to have a great big bunch of antimatter. Yes! Antimatter. And it looks like it's turning all of it into antimatter source blocks. So, let me pull this shape card again. Earlier I set the depth to be a little bit less, but let's set it to go all the way down to bedrock again. That look about right? Yeah, that covers it. And pump. There we go. Now we're getting tons of liquid antimatter. Once this is done pumping this one vein, I guess we'll call it an antimatter vein, that will almost assuredly be enough antimatter just for the rest of the pack, and I don't need to make any more. The pumping is done, and we have 8,300 or 8,300 buckets of liquid antimatter. It's occurred to me that I put it in a tank that I can't move though, so I guess we could dolly it and carry the tank back to our base. And then the rest of the stuff I'll leave here in case, well, apparently we can't dolly it. But the rest of the infrastructure I'll leave here in case I do need to make more later. It's occurred to me now after the fact that I should have used a clearing shape card so that it doesn't leave the dirt behind. But now if I want to make another batch, I just have to clear the dirt out. Oh well. Well, if we can't move the tank, then I'll just put an ender tank here and we'll use another ender tank to get access to the antimatter where we need it. I also have to chunk load this trunk to make it work, so I figured I may as well put a peace candle here as well to get mobs to stop spawning here. Alright, enough of this. Let's get back to work. With the other ender tank, I'm supplying it into a mixer that is just waiting for the rest of the items. So the recipe is here, and let's order some flux. Oh, for 1,000. Aha! So technically this, I suppose, will allow us to get access to all the Flux Network stuff if I want to encode the recipes for these. I don't know, they don't look too bad, but at the same time, I don't really need it. So if I don't need it, why make it? Maybe later we'll need Flux Networks. The Flux Network just lets you wirelessly transfer energy. It can do both GT energy as well as just straight up RF. However, I don't actually know how many, like I know it has no limit to its energy transfer, but when transferring GT energy, I don't know how to deal with like the amperages and voltages and whatnot. So if I don't need it, I'm not going to bother with it. Anyways, I did request it, right? Oh, right. It's crafting these first, and I forgot to configure the machine's outputs. Turns out you can't just place machines next to interfaces and expect them to work, huh? Auto output. And let's do the same thing on this one. And auto output. There we go. And now we're crafting at a pretty fast pace. For the next ingredient, that is the crystal matrix ingot. This has to be made in a blast furnace with some liquid starlight. It's not particularly fast, but it is only an HV recipe. So I figured if we're going to do it on demand, which I have this set up to do, I want it to be fast. So I give it a ZPM blast furnace. This is just 2 LUV input hatches on, well, our LUV line. Starlight provided via export bus, and then the recipe will go here. So the reason, let me clarify a bit. The reason I'm doing so many on-demand recipes in last episode and this one is that we've reached a point where a lot of the things that go into the blast furnace are just very hard to craft without using crafting cards. So like in the crystal matrix ingot, right? Trying to craft a diamond lattice passively without a crafting card is like 30 steps. There's just so much work that has to go into it. So if we're going to use a crafting card, well, we're not going to use a crafting card, but the alternative to using a crafting card is just doing it on demand, you know, having you be the request. And therefore, the request, it won't happen always. It'll only happen when you request it. And thus it won't cause, you know, it won't constantly cause lag. When I request it, it'll cause a little bit of lag, but during that time, I'm waiting for it to process the request. So let's encode that recipe and make ourselves a whole bunch of crystal matrix ingots. Let's give crafting crystal matrix ingots a shot. How many do I need per? I need 2 per 4 blocks, so I probably don't need that many. Let's start with 100. Wow, it's a lot of diamonds. Alright, well, I've added, I guess. The fact that it uses so many intermediates is, again, why I said it's very hard to craft some of these things in a blast furnace without crafting cards. So off it goes. And it's doing a bunch of stuff. Alright, so that's crystal matrix ingots taken care of. Let's just make some dragonstone really quick. We'll throw some of our mana diamonds through the portal here. Sure, we'll go with that many stacks. I switched out our dandelion here with another petropetunia so that we can have mana to trade with. Alright, that'll be 12 stacks of dragonstones. Just so I don't have to stand here for the next 5 minutes while the dragonstones pop out, I'm gonna put a collector here, just filter to only pick up dragonstones. Alright, next up, I guess, neutronium. So this is Avaricious neutronium, which is made slightly differently from GregTech neutronium. You still have to start with piles of neutrons, and then you compress them in a implosion compressor a couple times, and eventually you end up with neutronium ingots. So piles of neutrons, however, are not collected with the neutron collector as they usually are. It is the ender chicken being dissolved in liquid antimatter. So let's start by getting a ender chicken. Well, preferably multiple ender chickens. Thankfully, there's a summoning recipe for it. So let's find our summoning altar again. I think it's been sitting, yeah, it's been sitting here in our base for the longest time. And let's summon a couple ender chickens. I don't know if the process of dissolving ender chickens to make neutrons actually kills the chicken or not. I suspect it does, but let's try it. If it doesn't, I don't need an ender chicken spawner, right? If it does, then I need a way to respawn the ender chicken after I kill it. And because it consumes a dragon egg, it's not exactly something, I can't just do this summoning ritual over and over again. I don't know what happened to my one dragon egg, but I don't have it anymore. Must have used it in crafting somewhere. From a quest reward, I got 5 of these pristine dragon matters. We can get more if we need to off the Ender Dragon data model, which, while you can't craft it, is a reward for the creative model learner. I haven't made it yet, but if I do need it later, I can get more Ender Dragon matters. But for now, let's see about turning these Ender Dragon matters into eggs. So in it goes. Missing fluid input, you say? What fluids do you take? 8 buckets of mana? Is my fluid input hatch just too small, or are you not pushing? You're not pushing. Alright. And then I'll stand on top of my XP drain to refill my EXP tank. And out the other end come dragon eggs. Alright, I only need 1 for now. I have a couple of mob imprisonment tools ready to kidnap the ender chicken when it comes out. Is it shift right click? Oopsies, wrong dimension. Okay, I guess we're heading over to Aurelia. Let's try that again from the surface of Aurelia this time. Aha! The skies darken as death approaches. Can this thing actually kill me? Is it dangerous? Okay, you cannot capture in a mob imprisonment tool apparently. It has a big death laser. Well, I definitely need some way to pick these up. Do you have souls? I don't have solarium. They also inflict blindness, apparently. I've come to the conclusion that I cannot control the Ender Chicken. It does what it wants to do, and I can't find a thing that can pick it up. So I'm just going to summon it within this RF tool's shield. It's set to be solid to items and hostile mobs, which should cover the Ender Chicken. I guess I'll set solid to passives too, just in case it somehow counts as a passive mob. And let's summon them in here. After summoning them, I'll just pour the liquid antimatter into this, chamber, and we'll let them enjoy their swim. Well, I accidentally threw a dragon egg away. Good thing we have 6 extras. So once that's done, I'll take my summoning altar back too. Did they summon under it? They did, didn't they? Alright, we're gonna have to summon more ender chickens. This time we'll do it from the top of it, I guess. And hopefully they'll spawn inside the platform. As they say, 3rd time's the charm. If they spawn above it, I'll be a little sad. Aha, there we go. Alright, ender chicken spawned. There's a lot of boss bars up right now, and these things are very, very loud. But now I can, I guess I'm going to break the dirt under one of them just to make sure they don't fall through the shield. Because the antimatter will eat the shield. Nope, they do fall through the shield. What? Why? Why? No. Why can't they get through the shield? The shield's set to be solid. Right? Solid. I know what I did. You have to toggle the shield on and off once after changing your settings for them to actually apply, and I didn't do that. So we're going to summon the Ender Chicken one more time. This time they might land on top of the shield. If they do, I'll just toggle this once really quick, which should have them fall through and land on the dirt. At least that's the idea. Also, I put a sound muffler there to try to shut them up. They don't care about the sound muffler. They make the sounds they want to make. Alright, so they're up there, so if I toggle this, they should fall. No, don't run out of... How do chickens not care about gravity? I'll be happy containing one of them. Hello, gravity. Gravity, I need you to do your thing. Alright, there's one of them. I have one Ender Chicken contained. Victory. And a bucket of liquid antimatter. So, oh, there we go. He just dropped a pile of neutrons. Oh, and he even kills the antimatter. That was unexpected. Oh, I got two of them in here. Okay. I guess I have to fill this whole thing with antimatter. Let's get a lot of antimatter. For the sake of my sanity, I turned off all the block sounds. I'm no longer listening to explosions the whole time. The problem now is, apparently now, the liquid antimatter is attacking my shield blocks, and it managed to get through some of them. Like, why? What? How? How does this happen? I'm gonna take my shield generator away before it gets turned into antimatter. And, well, now we're gonna have a big antimatter hole here in Aurelia. Take this too before that gets turned into antimatter. I guess I need a different approach. All that liquid antimatter interacting with the liquid obsidian on this planet is causing a tremendous amount of lag over this way. Here's the hole I created. But I flew away from it to get away from the lag. And then I did some testing, and I think I've come up with a decent way of containing the antimatter. Antimatter is contained perfectly fine by antimatter blocks. Now, as long as you don't break an antimatter block, this should be okay. So all I need to do then is fill this in with some liquid antimatter and spawn a chicken into it. The chickens, I've discovered, also actually do not have to be completely within the antimatter. They just have to be close to it. So if I fill this in with antimatter and then spawn a chicken above it, I can contain the chicken in a RF Tools shield while containing the antimatter with more antimatter. To ensure that my shield blocks do not get turned into more antimatter, I left a 1 block air gap between the bottom of my shield and the top of the antimatter. So let's once again bring our friendly chickens into existence and make our eardrums suffer for it. Arrive, chickens. One of them is above. Well, I guess I have no good way to get him inside the shield, so he just lives above the shield now. The two that are inside appear to be taking damage for some reason. That's somewhat unexpected. But I expect that they are dropping piles of neutrons. So, uh-oh, why is there a hole here? Hole bad, hole very bad. Uh-oh. I hope the chicken is unable to break. At least the chicken doesn't break the antimatter there. But it looks like he's not. But maybe we're okay. Anyways, I just need to set up something to actually pick up the neutrons now. And now we are collecting tiny piles of neutrons. It's not terribly fast, but I think that's because I'm only collecting from 2 chickens. I suspect the chickens that are taking damage are the 2 inside, and they take damage as they drop piles of neutrons. So I guess next up I want to see if I have a way to heal the chickens so that they don't die. Which one is about to die? It's this one, right? Is he dying? I guess that's his death animation. Rest in pieces. But yeah, I'm gonna probably kill the one that's outside the wall. I guess he doesn't like being ranged attacked. Take that. Oh, he can teleport me even. Fearsome chicken. Now that I know what I'm doing, I set up a new and improved Ender Chicken neutron farm here. So compared to before, this cage is both smaller in size and taller, so that the Ender Chickens I summon are more likely to spawn inside the cage, and that they stay above the antimatter the whole time. As for... oh wait, hold on. Did the Ender Chicken kill my cache? Ender Chicken! That's not cool! Is the cache gone? There was like a bunch of neutrons in there. Alright, well apparently Ender Chickens can grieve caches. Huh, that's good to know. What, did it not drop it? Huh, I'm gonna need a different item collector. I was about to say I think this farm is done, but clearly it is not done. Alright, new cache. While the old one got griefed, I guess it still dropped its items. So I didn't end up losing any neutrons. I have 600 piles. I'm not quite sure exactly how many I need to make the infinity chicken. Once I make an infinity chicken, I can turn its eggs into neutronium much more easily. So let's take a quick look at about how many neutrons we need to make this chicken. It's, let's see, 20 blocks of awakened draconium. So that's 2 ingots per 4 blocks. So that's 10 ingots of neutronium for that. 8 blocks. So basically a little over 9 blocks. And does infinity? Infinity takes a bit more. A lot more neutronium. So we're looking at like maybe 30 blocks of neutronium? By my count then, we're going to need somewhere around 22,000 tiny piles of neutronium. If we get 500 per summoning ritual, it's going to take 40 plus runs for the summoning ritual. That's a little... I want to see if we can do better. First of all, you get healed by splash healing. I think the answer is yes, but it's not a meaningful amount. I mean, if this is regen 3, right? Yeah, if regen 3 is not enough to keep up, I don't think healing them is going to work out very well. So, I need an easy way of summoning these. One thought I have is if I kill some of them and try to get a soul to drop. If I get the base of the Draconic Evolution soul, then I can use that soul to summon them with that Draconic Evolution mob spawner. However, because they count as boss mobs, I actually don't know if they drop souls, or if they have souls. I guess as they get low, I'll kill them with our Reaper 8 sword and see if we can get the souls. If not, then I don't know, maybe the solution just is to do the ritual a whole bunch of times. Well, I've used up all my dragon eggs summoning chickens, so no more Ender Chickens to summon for now. If I want more dragon eggs, I'm going to have to make the creative model learner to get the Ender Dragon data model as a quest reward. So why don't we wrap things up here for today? We'll come back tomorrow and see if we can improve on our Ender Chicken system here. I kind of expected this to be an easy process, honestly. And I'm entertained by how difficult it is. I hope you are entertained as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.